Hello, we're live again. Have some trivia soon. I'm just going to take a little while to get myself all set up. So, as usual, if you're tuning in later when this is no longer live, look in the description. There'll be a timestamp to where the questions begin, and that way you can avoid all this waffle at the beginning. But let me get the URL and start spamming it around various places. Here we go. I didn't post an event this week, which wasn't very clever of me. Anyway. And that around the usual places. Hello, mysterious first person who always tunes in as soon as I go live. Okay, that's working here. That's working over there. Joys of multiple monitors. I suppose I better check that my questions are on this laptop. Actually, I made them on this laptop today, so they should be okay. Where are my questions? Here are my questions. Okay, cool. Right. All right, surprisingly well organized. Okay. So, as usual, we'll probably get started a little bit after 1:30. Give people a chance to tune in. Hopefully everyone can find the thing, because I didn't actually post an event this week. That's okay. You can find it on the Facebook page, Virtual Aussie Pub Quiz. Where else am I going to post my stuff? Oh, yeah. A couple other places. Here. Might have been a work. Hello, everybody who's tuned in. Hey, Simone. Hey, Pierrot. Assume you guys managed to find the link okay, even though I didn't actually post an event this week. And hopefully you can hear me okay through the microphone. Blue light is on, which is always a good sign. Where does that go? That goes there. Where else do I normally spam the link? Oh, sorry, one more place. Okay. It's the return of the unnamed hat from Mali that we still don't know the name of. Spamming the link in a few places. I can't spell. That's not good. Okay. Cool. It's everywhere. Well, easy to spam the link in places when I've not bothered to post an event and things like that, but I think it should be somewhere on the page. Oh, here we go. Doing Harry's trivia. Who's Harry? I'll do a sad emoticon on that. Okay. Hello, Narelle. I see Stephen linked Megan in the comments, and she's doing Harry's trivia. Who's this Harry guy? That's all right. Plenty of trivia to go around. Plenty of facts to go around. Okay. Well, I'm all pretty much done, and we're only 1 minute past. So yeah, this week I didn't organize the I didn't post the event because I was very slack, and I also forgot to do the quiz until lunchtime today at work. So don't tell my boss. Actually, it didn't take that long. Took my usual lunch break. But that means the questions, I don't know how they're going to be in terms of balance and everything. They should be okay. Yeah, it should be fine. Why not? All right. So we'll wait. What is it now? 7:32. We'll wait another couple of minutes. Give everybody a chance to find the link. I'm assuming you can hear me okay through the microphone. Yes. Yes. Hear me through the microphone. Yes. Tonight I'm drinking Young Henry's Newtowner. Other beers are available. I lived for about 10 years in the Enmore, Newtown, Marrickville area in Western Sydney. Hello, Meg and Paul. Hello, Kim. I'm quite confused. Why does Kim say hello, Meg and Paul? Are your friends Meg and Paul also playing trivia? I guess that's an explanation, unless you think there's someone here called Meg or Paul. Anyway, yeah, I used to live in the inner west of Sydney. I used to live in Newtown. I don't know if this beer is named after Newtown in Sydney at all, but it's a nice part of the world. A bit variable, says Davey. Maybe he means a bit variable sound quality. Well, hello, Matt. Well, I think we've got most of the regulars on. May as well slowly get going. So the way this is going to work is the same as it is every week. We're going to have round one, which is 20 questions of relatively easy questions. And then I'll give you the answer. It's a bit loud, then quiet, then loud again. Interesting. I think when I turn towards it, it might go a bit louder. And then when I turn away, it doesn't. Maybe? Might be a kofia hat, says Norel. Let's look up what a kofia hat looks like. It's in Kofi Annan. Yeah, it looks a bit like that, I guess. It's that sort of style, maybe. Worn by men in East Africa. I don't think Mali. Is it Mali in East Africa? Mali is in West Africa, but maybe the hat culture has spread. Matt's using a crappy backup laptop. I thought you had a newish laptop. Oh, maybe it's my little heater. I think my heater sometimes confuses the microphone. But what I'll do is I'll put my microphone a bit more centrally in front of me. He says, trying to unplug everything. And that way, no matter where I'm looking, it should still be mostly pointed towards the microphone. All right, we'll see if that's a bit more constant. Okay, so anyway, yes, as I said, we're going to have round one's going to be 20 questions, relatively easy. Then I give you the answers. Then we do round two, less easy. Then I give you the answers, also 20 questions. And then round three is our silly / funny / trick round of 10 questions. And if you get any of those, you're doing pretty well because they're deliberately hard or obscure or whatever. Goofy hat. We're going to get to the bottom of this mystery about what my hat is called. Goofy hat looks more sort of knitted. This is just like a cloth. It's got sort of bird logos on it. You can sort of wear it whichever orientation you like. I thought I'd go with the stripy bit today. Like every hat in the universe, it's slightly too small for my enormous head, but that's how it goes. All right, so let's get started. It's now 7:36. Oh, I'm still doing it. Not much I can do about the sound, unfortunately. If you do have trouble hearing me, just let me know and I can repeat questions or whatever at the end. But until then, let's get started. So round one, question one. K2, the second highest mountain in the world, is in which country? Round one, question one. K2, the second highest mountain in the world, is in which country? I should say that in case you didn't hear earlier, as well as forgetting to post the event on the Facebook page, Virtual Aussie Pub Quiz, this week, I also only realized this morning I hadn't actually written the trivia round. So I did that during my lunch break today. So I haven't done my usual process of kind of staggering the difficulty through the rounds. So it might be a bit random difficulty. There is feedback hum too. Don't know where that's coming from. A little cable is connected. All right, so round one, question one was K2, the second highest mountain in the world, is in which country? And question two is, if something is described as deltoid, it is similar to which common shape? If something is described as deltoid, it is similar to which common shape? It's D-E-L-T-O-I-D, deltoid. Pierre is here. Cool. Question three, what is the name of the US Navy's flight exhibition team? Question three, what is the name of the US Navy's flight exhibition team? You know, they go to air shows and they do all the impressive displays. What's the name of the... So they're sometimes called a flight demonstration team, but I think the US Navy call them the flight exhibition team. They have a particular name. What is it? Touching the mic got worse. Bad earth. Could be my electric personality. I don't know. There's a cable down there, but that's not really connected to anything. Oh, there's a power cable there, which is probably not ideal. Don't know. It got worse while I was touching it, or got worse and stayed bad? Anyway, question four. Which gaming term derives from the Arabic for dead king? Question four. Which gaming term, so a term used in a game, derives from the Arabic for dead king? Question five. Which seaport's name is Spanish for White House? Gaming term. GG, says Piotr. Question five was, which seaport's name, so it's a town or a city or something on the sea, which name is Spanish for White House? A bad one, I touched it. Okay, I think that's not too uncommon for USB things, maybe. Don't think they're earthed particularly well. Question six. Which part of the body does the condition strabismus affect? Which part of the body does the condition strabismus affect? That's S-T-R-A-B-I-S-M-U-S, strabismus. Question seven. Complete this quote from Hannibal Lecter. Do I even need to say the quote? It's basically the Hannibal Lecter quote, but here we go. A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with what? Question seven. Complete this quote from Hannibal Lecter. A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with what? I'm going to turn my lead back on because I'm quite cold. I think we're definitely in the right area with those hats. There's another one called a takia, which is it's more of a skull cap. Anyway, question 8. Which river forms much of the border between Mexico and the United States? Which river forms much of the border between Mexico and the United States? Now, there's a potential bonus point there. I'm just going to see if my information that I have about it is correct. Yeah, so so it's the border between Mexico and the USA. So the Americans have a name for that river, and the Mexicans have a name for that river, and it's a slightly different name. So yeah, so if you can give me both names for that river, then I guess you can have 2 points. So question 8, which river forms much of the border between Mexico and the USA? If you can give me the American name for it and the Mexican name for it, then you can have 2 points for that question. Question 9. What name was given to the 8th century Muslim invaders of Spain? Question 9. What name was given to the 8th century Muslim invaders of Spain? We have a particular term that's used to describe those invaders. Question 10. In which year was the Chernobyl disaster? Question 10. In which year was the Chernobyl disaster? The effects of Chernobyl are still being felt, but I'd like to know the year that the reactor had its big collapse and stuff. Not to get too scientific about it. Question 11. Who were the two main characters in the X-Files? Who were the two main characters in the X-Files? And I guess I'll give you a point each. If you only have their first names, then I guess, or they're only their surnames, then I guess you only get half a point per person. If you have both first names and both surnames, you get 2 points. I'm going crazy with the bonus points. Question 12. At one point, the biggest boy band in the world, by what stage name were Niall Horan, Zayn Malik, Liam Payne, Harry Styles, and Louis Tomlinson known? Question 12. At one point, the biggest boy band in the world, by what stage name were Niall Horan, Zayn Malik, Liam Payne, Harry Styles, and Louis Tomlinson known? Ooh, actors' names too for X-Files. It's going to be too many bonus points. Okay, if you can give me the first and second name of both of the actors, you may have one more bonus point. For a total of 3 bonus points. Well, three points in total. So for question 11, who are the main characters in the X-Files? If you get the first name and the second name of both characters, you get 2 points. If you get the first and second name of both actors, then you get another bonus point. Man, it's going to be confusing. Hope you can remember it all by the time we get back to that question. You know points are not redeemable for cash, right? Can I have half a point for the male actor? No. You can only have the bonus point for the actors if you know the first name and the second name of both actors. Frowny face. Okay, what are we up to? Far out. Question 13. So question 11 was the X-Files. Question 12 was the boy band. Question 13. Which famous model wrote the novel Pirate and appeared topless on the cover? Question 13. Which famous model wrote the novel Pirate and appeared topless on the cover? Elated Matt says, can I have a bonus point for humming the theme tune? Only if you can send it to me in MP3 format in the next 90 seconds. No bonus points for humming. Question 14. I think we've sort of had the reverse of this question previously. Anyway, on which peninsula are Spain and Portugal located? Is that the third Spanish question in this round? I think it is. Question 14. On which peninsula are Spain and Portugal located? And I'm pretty sure we had the reverse of that question recently. Hello, finally, from Ads. Hello, Ads. You managed to tune in just in time for question 15. What's next? The Spanish Inquisition? Don't make me say it. Okay, question 15. Which group did Vince Neil take a break from between their 1989 album, Dr. Feelgood, and their 1997 album, Generation Swine? Question 15. Which group did Vince Neil take a break from between their 1989 album, Dr. Feelgood, and their 1997 album, Generation Swine? Hi, Jason. Thanks for coming along. It's not that type of quiz. You don't need to type the answer into the comments. You're just playing against yourself or against your friends. So I read out the questions, and then I read out the answers, and you decide how well you did. It's all good. I probably should have explained that at the beginning. I thought we were just all the regulars. It's nice to see some new people tuning in. Okay, what are we up to? Question 16. What name is given to Indian food cooked over charcoal or wood in a cylindrical clay oven? Question 16. What name is given to Indian food cooked over charcoal or wood in a cylindrical clay oven? I guess it's kind of a regional version of a pizza oven. Hey, Combi Man, with a space in your name. Combi Man. I'm used to seeing you without a space in your name, I think. Question 17. Who was the first English language writer to win the Nobel Prize for Literature and is still, to this date, the youngest recipient? I'm going to just check that that's still true, because I probably wrote that question a little while ago. Question 17. Who was the first English language writer to win the Nobel Prize for Literature and is still, to date, the youngest recipient? I don't know. Yes, he is still. Yes, good. He or she. All right, question 18. What name? This is getting quite difficult for round one, I have to say. That's what happens when I don't plan my round well enough, because I forget that I'm hosting trivia every week. Question 18. What name is given to a hoop or other structure which supports the shape of a skirt? Question 18. What name is given to a hoop or other structure which supports the shape of a skirt? Yes, round one does seem tricky. It's getting tricky towards the end here. Maybe round two will be easier. Maybe it'll be one of those nights where round two is easier than round one. It's happened before. What are we up to now? Question 19. The most northerly point of mainland Africa is in which country? Question 19. The most northerly point of mainland Africa is in which country? And question 20, it's multiple choice. Which of these is not the name of a Bond girl? So question 20, which of these, multiple choice, is not the name of a Bond girl? A, Pussy Willow. B, Holly Goodhead. C, Plenty O'Toole. Or D, Penelope Smallbone. Question 20, which of these is not the name of a Bond girl? Is it A, Pussy Willow, B, Holly Goodhead, C, Plenty O'Toole, or D, Penelope Smallbone? Stephen says, thanks for the geography. Yes, there was a bit of geography this week. Not particularly planned, but that's how it turned out. And hey, what do you know? We're at the end of round one. So I'll give you a minute to think about those. If you didn't hear any because the sound went weird or you got here a bit late or whatever, let me know and I can quickly run through some of them again if needed. I'm beginning to regret only bringing one can of beer into this room. That's all right. I'm sure it'll last till the end. Matt completely missed number 13. Okay, number 13 was, which famous model wrote the novel Pirate and appeared topless on the cover? How could you forget that one? All right, it's been a little while. I think we'll go through the answers to round one if everyone's ready. So yeah, as I didn't explain very well before, you don't need to be quick with the answers. You don't need to post them in the comments. You're basically playing against yourself. Or against your friends if you've organized it in advance. And if you do want to be told about upcoming events in advance, you should go to the Facebook page, Virtual Aussie Pub Quiz, and you will be informed of upcoming events. Pierre says, wait for me, but he's already here. That's okay. I only just got that message. Is there another message? Nope. It's all good. All right, let's go through the answers to round one. Sound seems okay now. Well, I turned the heater back on. Maybe that helped. So question 1 was K2, the second highest mountain in the world, is in which country? The answer is Pakistan. Pakistan. Question 2, if something is described as deltoid, it is similar to which common shape? The answer is triangle. Your deltoid muscles are roughly triangular. Question 3, what is the name of the US Navy's flight exhibition team? They are the Blue Angels. If you put the Thunderbirds, you were thinking of the US Air Force. Sorry. It's the Blue Angels. Question 4, which gaming term derives from the Arabic for dead king? Well, the Arabic for king is Shah, and the Arabic for dead is Mat. So Shah Mat has been corrupted over time to checkmate, which makes sense when you think about dead king, checkmate. So the answer to question 4 is checkmate. Question 5, which seaport's name is Spanish for White House? That's pretty easy. Casablanca. That's house, white, Casablanca. 6, and Casablanca is, of course, in Morocco, I think, which would mean it's on the Mediterranean, I think. Question 6, what part of the body does the condition strabismus affect? That is the eyes. Strabismus is when the eyes do not align properly, such as when you have a lazy eye or crossed eyes, etc. Question 7, complete this quote from Hannibal Lecter. A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. Although you don't have to make that noise at the end. It does help. Yes, so the answer is some fava beans and a nice Chianti. I guess you can have half a point if you only got one of those. Question 8. I can't believe I made that noise. Anyway, question 8. Which river forms much of the border between Mexico and the USA? Well, the Americans call it the Rio Grande, which imaginatively means the big river. And the Mexicans call it the Rio Bravo del Norte, which I guess means the something river to the north. The noise is compulsory. Good. So the answer to question 8 is the Rio Grande. And you can have a bonus point if you put the Rio Bravo del Norte, or because it's only round 1, if you put the Rio Bravo, yes, you can have the bonus point. Matt says, God damn it, I forgot the fava beans. You can't eat a census taker's liver if you don't have some fava beans with it. Question 9, what name was given to the 8th century Muslim invaders of Spain? They are remembered as the Moors, M-O-O-R-S, the Moors. And I think Othello was one of them. Question 10, in which year was the Chernobyl disaster? Well, it occurred on the 26th of April, 1986. So the answer to question 10 is 1986. Question 11 was a confusing mess of bonus points. Let's see if we can work it out. Who were the two main characters in the X-Files? Well, they were Agent Dana Scully and Agent Fox Mulder. Actually, was he an agent? Yes, he was. I think so. Agent Dana Scully and Agent Fox Mulder. So if you've got first names and second names there, you can have 2 points or half points as appropriate. And then if you got both of the actors, which I forgot to make a note of, one of them is Gillian Anderson, and the other one, mental blank, he was in Californication, David Duchovny. Yeah, so for the bonus point, if you put Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny, then you can have a bonus point. No half bonus points for the actors' names because I'm feeling strict. Question 12 was, at one point, the biggest boy band in the world. Who were all those people known collectively as? David Duchovny, that's correct. For the previous question, those people were all collectively known as One Direction. And I think one of them has left the band now. There was a lot of wailing and gnashing of teeth among the 14-year-old girl community. I can't remember which one it was. But anyway, the answer to question 12 is One Direction. Question 13, which famous model wrote the novel Pirate and appeared topless on the cover? That is, of course, Fabio. He has written several books in the genre of romantic historical fiction. They are titled, among other things, Pirate, Rogue, Comanche, Viking, Champion, Dangerous, Wild, and Mysterious. He's also 6 foot 3 inches tall, which is one of many things he shares with me. Good. Simone has made a joke, which I'm not going to repeat, but that's good. Question 14. On which peninsula are Spain and Portugal located? You should remember this because we had it not that long ago in reverse. That is the Iberian Peninsula. I missed 13, did I? No, I didn't. 13 was the famous model who wrote the novel Pirate. The famous model who wrote the novel Pirate was Fabio. Fabio, you know, he's got the long hair and the muscly chest and everything. He's on the cover of all the romantic novels, and turns out he's actually written quite a lot of the romantic novels. Or maybe they were ghost written for him. I don't know. Not really my genre. Anyway, what are we up to? Question 14. The answer was the Iberian Peninsula. Sounds like Siberian without the S. That's Iberian, Iberian. Question 15. Which group did Vince Neil take a break from? That was Motley Crue, which is another thing you have to say in a strange accent. Motley Crue. Question 16. What is the name given to Indian food cooked over charcoal or wood in a cylindrical clay oven? Well, that type of oven is called a tandoor, and the type of food is tandoori. I will also accept bhatti, B-H-A-T-T-I, because that's like a regional variant of it. But tandoori is what I was after. Davy Jones says, I'm just confused. Okay, so you're still confused about 13. The famous model was a guy called Fabio. So the answer to question 13 is Fabio, F-A-B-I-O. If you don't know who that is, Google him. He's a famous model, and the reason why it was okay for him to appear topless on the front of his book is because he's a guy, and people don't tend to freak out too much about that. Okay, question 17. Who was the first English language writer to win the Nobel Prize for Literature and still to this date the youngest recipient? That was Rudyard Kipling in 1907 when he was 41 years old, I think. Do you like Kipling? I don't know. I've never kippled. Question 18. What name is given to a hoop or other structure which supports the name of a skirt? That is a farthingale. F-A-R-T-H-I-N-G-A-L-E, farthingale. I have something happening on the Facebook page. What's going on? People messaging things unrelated to the quiz, which is good. Question 19. The most northerly point of mainland Africa is in which country? It is in Tunisia. And it is Cape Angela is the northernmost point on the African continent. And question 20, which of these is not the name of a Bond girl? We had Pussy Willow, Holly Goodhead, Plenty O'Toole, and Penelope Smallbone. What's a crinoline then? I'll get back to you on that one. Question 20, the answer is Pussy Willow is not the name of a Bond girl. So Pussy Galore was in Goldfinger, Holly Goodhead was in Moonraker, Plenty O'Toole was in Diamonds Forever, and Penelope Smallbone was in Octopussy. A farthingale. Let's have a look. What's a crinoline? I think crinoline is a type of fabric, isn't it? Crinoline, we're Googling now. A stiff or structured petticoat designed to hold out a woman's skirt. Well, that does kind of sound like it fits the question. So if you said crinoline, then you can have the point for number 18. And let's check that my answer was good too. Farthingale is one of several structures used under Western European women's clothing in the 16th and 17th centuries to support the skirts in the desired shape and enlarge the lower half of the body. Points for everyone. If you had farthingale or crinoline, you can have the point. Now we've all learned something. Yeah, I thought crinoline was the fabric as well. Originally, crinoline described a stiff fabric made of horsehair and cotton or linen, which was used to make underskirts. But by the 1850s, the term crinoline was more usually applied to the fashionable silhouette provided by horsehair petticoats and to the hoop skirts that replaced them. So they were similar to the 16th and 17th century farthingale and to the 18th century panniers in that they too enabled skirts to spread even wider and more fully. So fair enough. Sounds like they both are correct answers to that question, and we've all learned a little something today. So how did you go at the end of round one? Simone got 12. David V got 11.5. Pierre got 11. What about hoop? I don't think you can have hoop. I don't think hoop is specific enough. A hoop is all kinds of other things as well. Lady Nat got 13.5. Pierre got 10.5. 9 for ads. 3 for Pierrot, who's going to stage a second round comeback. I can feel it. "12," says Kim. "Harder than they thought." I still am not sure if Kim is a boy Kim or a girl Kim. Not that it really matters. Simone says hoop was part of the question. That's true. What name is given to a hoop or other structure? Yeah, sorry. So that definitely means hoop is not a valid answer. Girl. Hi, Kim. Good to know ya. That round was a stinker, says Simone, who, I'll remind you, got 12 points. Norel 12, Stephen 10. All right, let's move on to round 2, and we'll see if that's any easier. Ooh, what's happening on the Facebook page? Nothing. Good. Okay. Good. Let's get started with round 2. It's been in the news a bit lately, and my sister lives down that way. So question 1 is, Albury and Wodonga are a pair of cities on the New South Wales-Victoria border. But which one of them is in Victoria? Albury and Wodonga are a pair of cities on the New South Wales-Victoria border, but which one of them is in Victoria? They're essentially one city, really, that happens to be split by the Murray River. So the Albury-Wodonga. And it's a bit dodgy down there at the moment because, of course, you're not allowed to travel between Victoria and New South Wales anymore, thanks to coronavirus. And the problem is quite a lot of people live on one side and work in the other, or study in the other, or have parents in the other, or whatever. So it's all getting a bit stressful down there for people living in the border town, as they call it. Easy. So that was exciting. Am I back? Am I connected again? I think something bad just happened to my connection. Hello? I think I may have just lost power. Yes, hello. Good to see you're all here. I'll be with you in just a moment when I figure out why I've lost all my power here. Okay, well, we've all learned a valuable lesson today, and that is don't plug your little heater into your little power board, because it will make your little power board sad, and you will lose power to everything. Hey, there it is. Yes, so I assume everything's back up and running. I obviously invoked the anger of the Victorian gods. Now all my windows are all messed up because my big monitor turned off. Just talk amongst yourselves. Enjoy a drink. I'll get all my windows working again. Okay, that's all right. I got my questions here. I got my... Oh, that can go over there. That can go over there. Okay, cool. The height of professionalism. There we go. Good. Back and working. Gosh. That was exciting. Right, what were we up to? The beginning of round 2. So question 1 of round 2 was slightly combobulated now. Okay, Albury and Wodonga are a pair of cities on the New South Wales-Victoria border, but which one of them is in Victoria? Rhubarb, watermelon, grapefruit. I thought the Vic government had censored you. Yes. It's kind of cool that YouTube just magically reconnected me. Easy question for us Victorians was the last thing I saw. Then same as Tweed, Coolangatta. Cool. All right. Good. What are we up to now? Question 2. Which king did William the Conqueror defeat at the Battle of Hastings? Gee, I don't know. Question 2 is not really shaping up to be that easy. or round two, I should say. So question 2 of round 2 was, which king did William the Conqueror defeat at the Battle of Hastings? Question 3 of round 2 is, which town on the Hume has a submarine parked by the side of the road? And for a bonus point, what is the name of the submarine? So question 3 was, which town on the Hume has, the Hume Highway obviously, has a submarine parked by the side of the road? And for a second point, what is the name of the submarine? Perfect word, combobulated. It's a perfectly cromulent word. Question 4 is a multiple choice. What is the official language of Bangladesh? Is it Hindi, Farsi, or Bengali? Question 4, what is the official language of Bangladesh? Is it Hindi, Farsi, or Bengali? Question 5, what was the name of Jacques Cousteau's oceanographic research ship? Question 5, what was the name of Jacques Cousteau's oceanographic research ship? Question 6, Mount Rushmore is in which US state? Question 6, Mount Rushmore is in which US state? Did you know that before they carved those statues into Mount Rushmore, its natural beauty was unprecedented? Question 7, what is the most commonly used Maori name for New Zealand? Question 7, what is the most commonly used I know it's an awful joke. That's the point of it. What is the most commonly used Maori name for New Zealand? I love that. You make a joke and you just get one comment in reply, which is simply the word awful. Question 8. Whose 31st and 38th symphonies are the Paris and the Prague? It's a slightly confusing sentence. Whose 31st and 38th symphonies are the Paris and the Prague? Plenty more bad jokes where that one came from. Question 9. Who were the male and female stars of the film Fatal Attraction? Question 9. Who were the male and female stars of the film Fatal Attraction? I'm just trying to think why, when I lost power, did my internet connection go down? And I think it's because the switch out there is powered from this power board as well. Yes, that's probably the problem. And then I briefly went onto Wi-Fi, and then I turned it back on, and the switch came back on. Okay, good. So question 9 was, who were the male and female stars of the film Fatal Attraction? Question 10, which 4-letter word meaning distasteful or pornographic material is also the name of a fungus affecting corn crops? Question 10, which 4-letter word meaning distasteful or pornographic material is also the name of a fungus affecting corn crops? Slightly oddball question. Question 11. The wedding of Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles. Cornhub, very good. Question 11. The wedding of Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles was postponed by 24 hours so that Charles could attend which event? Cornhub, that's good. Question 11. The wedding of Prince Charles, I nearly said King Charles, Question 11. The wedding of Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles was postponed by 24 hours so that Charles could attend which event? That's almost a round 3 question, I have to say. So yes, I think your hopes of round 2 being easier than round 1, yeah, probably not working out that way, but that's okay. Same questions for everybody. Question 12. Enzo Ferrari, the founder of the racing team and automobile company, had a son who died young of muscular dystrophy. Many Ferrari and Fiat cars and even a racing circuit are named in this son's honor. What was the name of Enzo's son? Question 12. Enzo Ferrari, the founder of the racing team and automobile company, had a son who died young of muscular dystrophy. Many Ferrari and Fiat cars and even a racing circuit are named in this son's honor. What was the name of Enzo's son? That's a bit cruel, Pierre. Question 13. In 1964, the two countries Tanganyika and Zanzibar merged to form which modern country? Zanzibar, of course, is where Freddie Mercury was from. And Tanganyika is named after the big lake, or has the same name as the big lake. So anyway, question 13. In 1964, the two countries Tanganyika, 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 and Zanzibar, Zanzibar, were merged to form which modern country that still exists? Question. What up to question 14? What name, beginning with G for grasshopper, is used to measure the mass of pearls? Question 4. What unit, beginning with G for golf, is used to measure the mass of pearls? Question 15. What is the only letter of the English language that does not appear in the name of any US state? Really? It's been a while since I've seen that question. Question 15. What is the only letter of the English language that does not appear in the name of any US state? I'm just trying to run through my... yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough. Let me think about that one for a minute. Question 16. What is the currency of Hungary? What is the currency of Hungary? Matt says, what's the only London tube station with Z in the name? Who's running this quiz here, Matt? What's the only one with Z in the name? It's not the Zoo Station, is it? No, that's the name of a U2 song. Oh, yeah, there's one with the word zoo in it, isn't there? I don't know. I think there might be a future round of London Underground stations questions. He's taking over. He's the People's Popular Front of trivia. What are we up to? Question, where did that go? That's round 3. We don't want that. We want round 2, question 17. What name was given to the 30th of January 1972 after an incident in Derry, Northern Ireland, where British paratroopers shot several unarmed civilian protesters? Question 17. What name was given to the 30th of January 1972 after an incident in Derry, Northern Ireland, where British paratroopers shot several unarmed civilian protesters. And I sort of almost gave you an accidental clue there. Oh, you got me looking now. London Underground stations. It's going to annoy me if I can't think of it. Okay, question 18. According to Roman and Greek mythology, the twins Castor and Pollux were transformed into which constellation? Question 18. According to Roman and Greek mythology, so it must be true, the twins Castor and Pollux were transformed into which constellation? Is there a London Underground station that's called Zoo something? No. Okay, good. I'm not correct on that one. Never mind that one. Let's stick to the actual questions. Question 19. In Australia, to make a payment into a bank account, you need the account number and the BSB number. Not so true anymore. Now we've got Pay ID and all that. But anyway, every bank account has a BSB number. What does BSB stand for? So question 19. In Australia, to make a payment into a bank account, you need the account number and the BSB number. What does BSB stand for? Belsize Park is the answer to the London Underground, or at least that one's got a Z in it. I don't know if it's the only one. And then question 20. Excuse me, it's a burp. Question 20. For half a point each, name as many of the 6 core members of Monty Python as you can. So question 20. For half a point each, name as many of the 6 core members of Monty Python as you can. Elated Matt says, that's the one. Okay, I would not have got that answer myself. I have not spent, I don't think I've actually spent any time on the London Underground, certainly not as an adult. Right, so that is the end of round 2, question-wise. I'll give you a minute to think about those. If you need any of those repeated because the internet fell over because of the dodgy electrical setup here, or any other reason, let me know. Otherwise, I'll go through the answers in about a minute or so. And yes, round 1 and round 2 were both, I think, quite difficult. But I guess we'll see how we went in the scores. And then round 3, gosh, who knows? Maybe no one will get any points in round 3 this week. Or maybe it'll be the easiest round of all. Guess we'll find out. All right, let's go through the answers to round 2. Davy Jones says, damn it, that's as bad as Name the 7 Dwarves. I have a standard 7 Dwarfs question. I think it's name the only one that has the letter F in their name, and I think I've already asked that on here. Anyway, so let's go through the answers to round 2. So question 1 was, Albury and Wodonga are a pair of cities on the New South Wales-Victoria border, but which one of them is in Victoria? The answer is Wodonga. Albury is in New South Wales. Wodonga is in Victoria. The answer to question 1 is Wodonga. Dwarves are much easier, says Pierre. Question 2. Which king did William the Conqueror defeat at the Battle of Hastings? That was King Harold II. King Harold II. I guess if you only got Harold, you can have half a point. Question 13. Which town on the Hume has a submarine parked by the side of the road? That is Holbrook. 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 And for a bonus point, what is the name of the submarine? It is HMAS Otway. O-T-W-A-Y. HMAS Otway is by the side of the road in Holbrook. You can go and check it out. Question 4. What's the official language of Bangladesh? It was multiple choice. It was Hindi, Farsi, or Bengali. Well, it's round 2. You wouldn't expect it to be the obvious one, but it is. It's Bengali or Bangala. Bengali is the official language of Bangladesh. Question 5. What is the name of Jacques Cousteau's oceanographic research ship? That is the Calypso. Question 6, Mount Rushmore is in which US state? That is South Dakota. If you said North Dakota, nil point. Gotta have it right. South Dakota. Question 7, what is the most commonly used Maori name for New Zealand? That is Aotearoa. 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 Crowd goes wild. Narelle got the submarine. Nice. Yes, Aotearoa. I'm not exactly how you pronounce it, but there it is. Question 8. Whose 31st and 38th symphonies are the Paris and the Prague? That's your friend of mine, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Question 9. Who were the male and female stars of the film Fatal Attraction? That is Michael Douglas and Glenn Close. Question 10. Which four-letter word meaning distasteful or pornographic material is also the name of a fungus affecting corn crops? It's not corn hub. It is, in fact, simply smut. S-M-U-T is a four-letter word meaning distasteful or pornographic material, and it's also a fungus. If you get corn smut, it can destroy your crop. Question 11. The wedding of Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles was postponed by 24 hours so that Charles could attend which event? I'll be very impressed if anyone got this. It's pretty much a round 3 question. The answer is, well, it had to be something that happened on short notice, obviously, because the wedding would have been planned well in advance. And what it was the funeral of Pope John Paul II. So the answer to question 11 is the funeral of Pope John Paul II. I guess if you just had the funeral of the Pope, that'll do. Question 13, also a little bit obscure. Enzo Ferrari, he had a son, a much beloved son who died young. Enzo's son was called Alfred, but he was affectionately known as Alfredino, or more commonly simply Dino. So if you said Alfred or Alfredino or Dino, then you're correct. So there is a Ferrari Dino, is a quite famous, very collectible exotic car. And I think Monza, Autodromo di Monza, is known as Dino Ferrari circuit. Anyway. Yes, we're after Alfred or Alfredino or Dino. Question 13. In 1964, the two countries Tanganyika and Zanzibar merged to form which modern country? That is Tanzania or Tanzania. Pierrot says there was an F40 crash in Australia a few days ago. There was an F40 crash, and did you notice in the photos it had dealer plates on it? Youch. Question 14. What unit beginning with G is used to measure the mass of pearls? That is grains. Grains, as in like whole grain bread, Grains. What vegan zombies like to eat? Grains. Grains, that's a quarter of a metric carat. But the answer is grains. I guess carats are too big for measuring pearls. I don't know. Question 15. What is the only letter of the English language that does not appear in the name of any US state? Isn't a pearl just oyster snot, says Simone Bailey. That's lovely. I think the oyster is mostly the snot, actually. Although I don't mind eating oysters. I quite like oysters, especially when they're fresh. Anyway, what are we up to? Question 15. The only letter of the English language that does not appear in the name of any US state. Well, I thought it might be X, but of course there's New Mexico. It's not Z because there's Arizona. The only one that's not in there is the letter Q. Albuquerque is a city that has Q in it. Question 16. Get it together, James. What is the currency of Hungary? They have not yet converted to the euro. They keep planning to do it and not quite getting around to it. So they are still using the forint, F-O-R-I-N-T, the Hungarian forint, which used to be divided into 100 filler, F-I-L-L-E-R, but they don't really do that anymore. So it's the forint. Question 17. What name was given to that day? I almost accidentally gave you a clue because I mentioned U2, who of course have a famous song, which is Sunday Bloody Sunday. And the answer to question 17, that day is now known as Bloody Sunday because the British paratroopers shot unarmed civilian protesters in Northern Ireland during the Troubles, I guess. Question 18. According to Roman and Greek mythology, the twins Castor and Pollux were transformed into which constellation? Well, we still know it as the twins. It's called Gemini. Or you could have Castores, which is also, I guess, the Latin name for it. But Gemini is the constellation. Question 19. In Australia, to make a payment into a bank account, you need the BSB number. BSB stands for Bank State Branch, because that's literally what the digits are. The bank, the state code, and the branch code. So BSB is Bank State Branch. Bugger, I put Zloty, said Matt. Yes, where was Zloty? Was that Bulgaria? I can't remember. Anyway, answers on a postcard. Question 20. For half a point each, name as many of the 6 core members of Monty Python as you can. They are in no particular order. John Cleese, Graham Chapman, Eric Idle, Terry Gilliam, Terry Jones, and Michael Palin. So John Cleese, Graham Chapman, Eric Idle, Terry Gilliam, Terry Jones, and Michael Palin. There were other members, including some women, of course, who were quite involved with it, but you'd have to say that those 6 were the main ones who were in everything. Zloty is Poland, says Norel. Thank you very much. Okay, that's the end of round 2. How did you go? Pierre wants to know if he can get 2/3 of a point if he got bank and branch. No, you have to point. Sorry. That's how it goes. So let me know how you went in round 2. And then we will slowly, but inexorably, that's the word, inexorably, it's easy for you to say, move on to round 3. Pierrot says his internet cut out. I hope it didn't. Lady Matt got 13.5 again. Davy Jones got 17. Holy cow, what did you get in the first round? You got 11.5 in the first round, 17 in the second round. That's pretty good. Monty Python was half a point each. And I'd say you have to get both parts of their name to get the half point. Simone got 13.5 for round 2. She knew the Python team. That's good. Pierrot got 2 points. As you were contemplating, your image froze and sound froze in that spot. Oh. Well, it hasn't been a great night for internet and power and stuff, but it seems to still be holding it together. So we'll have a round 3 in just a minute, and then we'll have probably another couple of Who Am I's at the end. And then that'll be the end of the night. All right, so let's get started. Your video is chopping off a bit. Narelle got 15.5. Steve got 12. You're dropping back, Steve. I think you can still pull it out of the fire if you manage to completely ace round 3. I'm got my fingers crossed for you, buddy. All right, let's get going with round 3. Question 1. 7 out of 24, says Pierre. Not that many people posting scores. I assume I'm still connected to the internet. We'll see. All right, round 3, question 1. To the nearest inch, how tall is Danny DeVito? I don't want it in centimeters. I want it in feet and inches. Round 3, question 1. To the nearest inch, how tall is Danny DeVito? Norel says if it's all geography, he has a chance. Well, question 3 is geography. And that's the only one. 4.5, says Davy Jones. All right, question 2 of round 3. Hello. I'm doing my trivia. Goodbye.
Well, that was rude.
Go on, see you later. I don't know. Damn family people coming in when I'm trying to do my trivia. Question 2 of round 3. The Apostle Paul said that what is the root of all evil? Really? Well, I wonder if I can do this. Can I do this? Can I copy here? Can I paste here? Kids, yeah, kids popping in. They've all been out. So normally they're out. And I finish this just about when they get back. But I guess we're running a bit late or they're a bit early or whatever. No, that didn't work. I'm trying to do this. Does that work? I can type the questions in there. So round three, question one was to the nearest inch, how tall is Danny DeVito? Question two is the Apostle Paul said that what is the root of all evil? And I want the exact answer. Question three, but can you see the words, Kim? No, the sound is apparently not working very well. Question three, what is the name of the group of about 10 islands, 800 kilometers east of southern New Zealand, officially part of New Zealand since 1842? I'll post that into here. I'm typing in the questions into the chat as well as reading them out. Hopefully that will get us through to the end of round three. Question four, who said, I don't want to achieve immortality through my work. I want to achieve it through not dying. So round three, question four, who said, I don't want to achieve immortality through my work. I want to achieve it through not dying. Question five, what is the nickname of the Royal Air Force's 617 Squadron, whose motto is Après moi, le déluge? Question five, and I'll post that into the chat window. What is the nickname of the Royal Air Force's 617 Squadron, whose motto is Après moi, le déluge? Well, YouTube says there's still 10 people connected, so hopefully I'm not just talking to myself in my room here. Question six of round three. Sir Isaac Newton was a member of the Parliament of England from 1689 to 1690 and again in 1701. However, he only had one comment recorded in Parliament. He's only ever recorded as having said one thing in Parliament. Cool. People can still hear me. That's good. I'm going to keep posting them in here, though. So question six was, Sir Isaac Newton, one of the greatest minds of human history, was a member of the Parliament of England from 1689 to 1690 and again in 1701. What was his only recorded comment in Parliament? Ow, says Davy Jones, presumably as a apple hit him in the head. I don't think that actually happened. According to his diary, he said he was in an orchard in a contemplative mood occasioned by the fall of an apple, which is what made him think about gravity and stuff. So it didn't actually hit him in the head, but it's a good story. Who threw that apple? Bugger this, I'm off down the pub. All of the above. So 7 of round 3, orchestras often tune to a concert A note played by which woodwind instrument? Question 7, orchestras often tune to a concert A note played by which woodwind instrument? I guess if you've got an orchestra, you've got loads of instruments. They've all got to be in tune with each other. So you have one kind of reference instrument, which instrument is generally used for that. Question 8. Which world leader died on the 7th of January 1989 after more than 62 years in power? Question 8. Which world leader died on the 7th of January 1989 after more than 62 years in power? Still posting the questions to round 3 into the chat window. Although I possibly don't need to anymore, but I'm going to keep doing it. There's only 2 more to go. Question 9. What is, that's an interesting word to pronounce, P-S-E-P-H-O-L-O-G-Y, psephology? Psephology? What is psephology the study of? What is psephology the study of? Yes, that's a good round 3 question. Thanks for asking. And question 10, the last question of round 3 is a multiple choice question. Make it easy for you. Which of these sports was not an official event at the 1900 Paris Olympics? So which of these sports was not an official event at the 1900 Paris Olympics? Was it A, ladies croquet, B, obstacle course swimming, including climbing over a row of boats, C, golf, or D, horse high jump? So question 10, which of these sports was not an official event at the 1900 Paris Olympics? Was it A, ladies croquet, B, obstacle course swimming, including climbing over a row of boats, C, golf, or D, horse high jump? And that brings us to the end of round 3. We are beset on all sides by technical difficulties, but we're getting through it. All right, hopefully you managed to hear all of those or see them when I wrote them down. I think the only one I didn't write in the chat window was the first one, which was to the nearest inch, how tall is Danny DeVito? They should make him a standard measure of things. Like that room is 4 Danny DeVitos long or something like that. During COVID, you must keep 1 Danny DeVito away from everybody else. All right, so round 3, question 1. To the nearest inch, well, yes, using bananas for scale. You could use Danny DeVito for scale. Okay, so we'll go through the answers to round 3. So question 1 was, to the nearest inch, how tall is Danny DeVito? He's not 6'3" like Fabio. He is, in fact, 4'10". So to the nearest inch, Danny DeVito is 4'10". You can look it up on his wiki page. Question 2, the Apostle Paul said that what is the root of all evil? And I wanted the exact answer. He said, the love of money is the root of all evil. Not money is the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. Question 3, what is the name of the group of about 10 islands, 800 kilometers east of southern New Zealand, officially part of New Zealand since 1842? Did I read that out? I'm not kind of remembering that one. I guess I know I put it in the chat window, and I'm pretty sure I read it out once. That was when we were having trouble with the sound. Anyway, the answer is the Chatham Islands, or Moriori in the indigenous language. The 2 largest islands of the Chatham Islands are Chatham Island and Pitt Island, and the population is about 650 people. So that was geography. Bit of a tricky one. Anyway, question 4, who said, I don't want to achieve immortality through my work. I want to achieve it through not dying? That was Woody Allen. Question 5. What is the nickname of the Royal Air Force's 617 Squadron, whose motto is Après-moi le déluge? Well, that motto translates to After Me, the Flood. And they are, of course, the very famous Dam Busters Squadron, who had great effect with their bouncing bomb in the Second World War. I think they blew up a water store that was being used by the Germans to develop their atomic bomb, and that sort of derailed their plans and probably, had a major impact on their war effort. Anyway, the answer to question 5 is the Dam Busters. Question 6, Sir Isaac Newton was a member of the Parliament of England, but he was only ever recorded as saying one thing in Parliament, and it was, do you mind if we close the window? So the answer to question 6 is, do you mind if we close the window? I think that Kim is asking for the answers to be put in the chat, so I will put the answers in the chat as I go along. So I'm just doing question 2. Oh, okay, it's getting slightly confusing now. I'm just putting the answers in the chat window very briefly. Just bear with me. Question 4 was Woody Allen. Question 5 was the Dam Busters. Question 6 we've just had. His only recorded comment was, do you mind if we close the window? Words to that effect. He apparently just said something to an usher, which was essentially, can you please close the window because it's cold in here. But I think it was recorded as, do you mind if we close the window? And then finally, well, not finally, but question 7. Orchestras often tune to a concert A note played by which woodwind instrument? That is the oboe. Apparently it's because the oboe's pitch is secure and penetrating, according to the League of American Orchestras. So I guess it stays in tune very well, and it's nice and loud, and you can hear it and be very sure when you're tuned to it correctly. So question 8 was, which world leader died after 62 years of being the boss of Japan? As it happens, it was Emperor Hirohito. Question 9 was, what is that difficult to pronounce word? The study of psephology, I think it would be. It is the study and analysis of elections and voting and stuff. And then finally, we had question 10, which of these was not? Which of these was not an official event of the 1900 Paris Olympics? The 1900 Paris Olympics are kind of famous for being this crazy kind of anything goes Olympics. You can look it up. The stuff that they got up to was absolutely mental. It turns out all those sports were actually at the 1900 Olympics, but that horse high jump was only a demonstration sport, so it wasn't an official event at the 1900 Paris Olympics. So the answer to question 10 is D, horse high jump. But that means that all the other ones were actual official Olympic events. Obstacle course swimming, including climbing over a row of boats. What the? I remember there was also an event called plunging, which was basically jumping into water and seeing who can go the deepest, fastest without swimming. Anyway, crazy. All right, let me know how you went in that round. And I can only apologize for the slight technical difficulties we've been having. Simone got 2 in that one. And Simone may be the only person still listening. 2 from Davey, 3 from Matt, 1 from Pierrot. So Pierrot got, what did you get? 2, 3, 1? 3, 2, 1? Pierre got nothing. Nil points in the 3rd round. Brutal. Ah, well. Always try again next week. Pierrot says, yay, I beat Pierre. All right. Well, while we're still going and it's still working, I guess I can do a quick couple of who am I's. You know the rules. I'm going to read out clues about the person. If you think you know the answer, have a go at it. If you get it right, you win the tiebreaker. If you're in a tiebreaker, if you get it wrong, then you're out and the other person wins the tiebreaker. So you want to be fast, but you really want to be correct. And if you're not in a tiebreaker, just have a crack at it anyway. Just have a bit of fun. Simone says, I could kick myself about the Hirohito one because I actually remembered it now. They wanted to fly the flag at half-mast, and there was an outcry from the RSL. Oh, there you go. So Narelle got, I have to translate this, Narelle got 2, Stephen got 3. So total of Narelle 29.5 and Stephen 25. It's going to happen one of these days, Stephen. Did it happen last week? Well, it was very close to happening last week. Anyway. All right, so let's go through the who am I. So who am I for the first one? We're going to have 2, one's more difficult, one's more easy. See how we go. Who am I? I was born around 1812 on Bruny Island, south of Hobart. I was the daughter of Mangana, chief of the Bruny Island people. My name is taken from the local word for the grey saltbush. Before I was 18, my mother had been killed by whalers. My fiancé had died, saving me from abduction, and my 2 sisters had been abducted and sold as slaves. In 1830, I was moved to Flinders Island with about 100 other Tasmanian Aborigines. Many of the group died from influenza and other diseases. After about 2 years, I became an outlaw, stealing from settlers around Dandenong and Melbourne. When my group murdered 2 whalers, we were captured and I returned to Flinders Island. By 1873, I was widely regarded as the last surviving full-blooded Tasmanian Aborigine, although more recently that claim is disputed. I died in 1876, sometimes known as Lala Rookie or Truganini. My real name was Trugananner. Okay, maybe a little obscure, that one. Very interesting history, though. Worth looking up, learning a little bit about. It's kind of grim the way we treated the Tasmanian Aborigines, unfortunately. Well, I say we, I say people in history treated the Tasmanian Aborigines. No idea, says Pierre. All right, let's try this one. Who am I? We'll do another one. I was born in 1954. There are some messages on the Facebook page, which I should probably check in case anything bad's happening. No, it's all good. Who am I? I was born in 1954. I trained as a physical chemist and was awarded my doctorate for a thesis on quantum chemistry. I worked as a research scientist and published several papers. At school, I learned to speak Russian fluently, and I won awards for Russian proficiency and mathematics. In 1989, I became involved in the growing democracy movement and stood for election in 1990. I was elected to my local constituency and I was elected to my local constituency and have since been re-elected into this position over 6 times. In 1994, I was promoted to Minister for the Environment and Nuclear Safety, which gave me greater political visibility, and a platform to build my career. I was a protege of Helmut Kohl, and after his defeat in 1998, I was appointed Secretary General of the Christian Democratic Union, and in 2002, I became leader of the opposition. In 2005, I assumed the office of Chancellor of Germany following a stalemate election. I was re-elected in 2009 with a larger majority, and again in 2013 and 2017. I am, of course, Angela Merkel, Chancellor of Germany since 2005, and not doing too bad a job of it. That's the one, Angela Merkel. All right. Not sure why Kim can't hear me. There we go. That's the Who Am I is done. So I guess that's done for tonight. Some technical difficulties making life a little bit tricky. That one was a bit easier. Yes, that was. When I've asked that one in the pub context, you always get someone, whenever I say, I was born in 1954 and trained as a physical chemist, always get someone who puts their hands up and says, Margaret Thatcher. And you go, no, you fell into my trap. No problemo, Mr. 929. Hope you all had fun. Sorry about the slight technical hassles and my power board turning off. It's interesting that it's never done that before when I've had the heater on, but I guess I'll know now. Don't turn the heater on. 17.5 total for the night. Worst night ever. Should have toy shut around for that. Yep. No worries. All right. Well, I better go and see what the family's up to. Now they're all home. It was quite difficult tonight, I realize, but that's okay. We all had fun. I will try and be a bit more organized next week. And also, we had hockey last night, and I scored a goal. Woo! All right. See you all next week. Bye.